As the season of promise, each spring brings an annual celebration of life, Phoebe's Paver dedication ceremony. This event celebrates the past year's addition of more names to the Paver bricks on the exterior walkway between the main hospital entrance and the hospital tower entrance. These bricks provide a special way to commemorate the birth of a baby, memorialize a loved one, or say a special thank you to a friend or medical professional. Each spring, the dedication ceremony recognizes those who have added new bricks in the name of someone they wish to honor with a Paver brick of their own. As with almost every other aspect of our lives, COVID has changed the way we will celebrate those being honored and remembered this year. We are proud to be able to continue this tradition, albeit a little differently, still just as special as ever. We invite you to watch this special ceremony and share it with your friends and loved ones so they can be a part of this heartfelt dedication.
I'm Carrie Middleton, and on behalf of the Phoebe Foundation Board of Directors, I'd like to take a moment to thank you for your generous support of the Phoebe Foundation and the Chaplaincy program. As of today, we have over 3,100 pavers that make up the beautiful pathway that offers an area of respite for patients, family members, and employees of the hospital. This year's ceremony is particularly meaningful to me as one of the pavers being dedicated was donated by Scott Steiner in memory of my mother, who died unexpectedly last year on the 4th of July. Your continued support of the Chaplaincy program is critical to ensure that this vital resource remains available to those who need it during what is often one of the most difficult times of their lives.
This Paver ceremony is one of the most meaningful and important events we host each year at Phoebe because it's so personal. If you've purchased a Paver in honor or in memory of someone important to you, or if someone has recognized you or one of your loved ones with a Paver, it's special to you. And it's special for the entire Phoebe family. It's also special for me. I purchased several Pavers this year. I have a few friends who lost their mothers in this last year, and I want them to have a spot in this peaceful Paver pathway where they can come and reflect and remember their moms. I also purchased a Paver in memory of Louise Williams. Wheezy was one of our most dedicated and beloved environmental services workers. She was taken from us early in the COVID-19 pandemic, and while we dedicated a new EVS break room in her honor, I wanted to make sure she had a permanent memorial here as well. I am truly sorry we couldn't get together in person this year. While we believe and hope the end of the COVID-19 pandemic is now in sight, it's just not safe enough for us to resume large gatherings quite yet. I hope you appreciate that we need to set an example for our community. Even though this ceremony is virtual, it is no less vital. This event, these Pavers, and the work they support are integral to who Phoebe is as an organization. I thank you for participating. I invite you to come here for a stroll through this beautiful Paver pathway when you are able. And I ask that you continue to support our vision of making every life we touch better.
My name is Will Runyon. I'm the Chaplaincy and Palliative Care Director here at Phoebe Putney. I've been here for 2 years and a few months, and every year we do this ceremony for the brick pavers to commemorate those who've passed on, in honor of people who meant a lot to our community, to our family, our Phoebe family. But I wanted to give a little bit of history about our chaplaincy program and my journey to get here to Phoebe. So Chaplain Dick Denson was the first chaplain here at Phoebe Putney back in the early 90s. And he put together a group of folks to raise money to build the chapel, the Denson Interfaith Chapel here at the hospital. And it was dedicated March 10th, 1998. So we've had a chaplaincy program since then, and it's gone through some different changes over the years. The most recent change, however, though, is that we've added a second full-time chaplain with our palliative care group who has hit the ground running and become a fast part of the Phoebe family. He's gotten a taste of what it's like to be here in this community and serve our patients and families, and especially our staff. His name is Chaplain Joey Holland, so we welcome him. But my story coming to Phoebe is I can only define as a divine story. After I'd graduated seminary in 2005, I went to see my pastoral care professor, Doug Dickens, and when I went to visit him, it was because his wife had just passed away. So I pulled into his driveway, and a gentleman pulled in behind me in a maroon Toyota pickup truck, and that was Dick Denson. So it was the first time that I met him, and that was 2005. So a few years later, my wife and I were in Middlesboro, Kentucky. She was associate pastor of First Baptist Church, and she received a call to go to Maryville, Tennessee, to a church to be a youth and young adult minister. And on that committee was Loretta Denson, who is Dick Denson's wife. So the next 10 years or so, Chaplain Denson and I became fast friends. We lived in the same neighborhood. We helped keep his garden, had dinner with him on their back porch many times, and have been very good, very close friends. He's been a mentor to me for the past 16 years now. So fast forward a little bit again to 2018. I had been working as a chaplain in Knoxville, Tennessee, and was laid off from my position there. And one day I went by to see Chaplain Denson, and he mentioned that Phoebe was about to look for another chaplaincy director, and that I should give them a call and look at that. So I said, okay, I'm open to anything. So I did, and I told my wife, what do you think about living in Albany, Georgia? And she said, that's below the gnat line. So we had some conversations about that, but coming to visit, the first time we came to town was the week before Hurricane Michael hit. And from that point, it seemed like a perfect fit for us. Even going through town and going on vacation that week, we were in Florida while Hurricane Michael worked its way up to Albany, Georgia. And hearing the stories that came out about how our NICU team was able to go out and find people that needed to be here with the help of the local community, cutting down trees, walking miles to bring the baby to the hospital. Sitting there watching and listening and reading about that experience in Florida, the only thought I had was, I have to be here. There's no question in my mind at that point that this is where I was supposed to be. So we came back to visit, to interview. After the hurricane had settled things down a little bit, power was restored, and things have just fallen into place ever since. So I've been here about a year until COVID-19 hit our community. And you'll hear Scott Steiner say he was born for this moment, that he's been preparing his whole career for this. And I feel the same way, that everything that I've experienced through hospice chaplaincy, through the traumatic losses in my life, through the disappointments in life, have all prepared me to be here at this time to help minister to our community, to our patients, to our Phoebe family, and they've embraced me with open arms. It's been an amazing experience over the past 2 years. So March 10th of 1998, the Denson Chapel was dedicated on that date. So we just passed that anniversary, and to talk about the Paver ceremony a little bit more, all the proceeds for the bricks go to the chaplaincy service here at Phoebe. So we directly benefit from everybody's generous donations and what they do to remember their loved ones and honor their loved ones. But this year has been especially different for me. Right after COVID, the first large wave of COVID, I lost my brother on June 30th of 2020. Out of the blue, he was a healthy 37-year-old getting ready to move to Singapore with his family, his wife and 2 kids, and out of the blue passed away from either a heart attack or a clot in his carotid artery. And those were some of the hardest moments of my life. But the Phoebe family, along with my wife and my kids and my family, helped pick me up and helped me to regain my sense of self and purpose to continue the fight against COVID, to be able to continue seeing our patients and families through the use of iPads and talking on the phone. And I got a letter in the mail a few weeks back from the Phoebe Foundation. And it said that they had purchased a brick in my brother's honor, in Lieutenant Commander David Meadows' honor, in memory of him. And that solidified again for me that Phoebe family is my home. This is where I belong, that no other family I could imagine being with. We've been through so much together in the last 2.5 years that I just can't imagine being anywhere else. So again, thank you for your donations, for purchasing the bricks. Thank you to the foundation for what you've done for me personally. And we plan to grow and continue our chaplaincy ministry to our Phoebe family and our community in the years to come. So thank you, be blessed, and I appreciate it.
Phoebe has an annual tradition of honoring our loved ones and former colleagues through the purchase and placement of pavers engraved with the names of those who hold a special place in our hearts and memories. Phoebe and the communities we serve have been tested like never before during this past year. The Phoebe family were truly some of the first responders in our nation to the COVID-19 pandemic. May we never forget or take for granted the importance of those who made a career out of serving others, whether by cleaning a room, caring for a patient, taking an x-ray, or any of the other jobs performed behind the scenes. Every job is essential, every employee unique. Here are the names of the recently retired longtime members of the Phoebe family who are being honored today.
Starla Bruce, 25 years of service. Ann Cooper, 29 years of service. Virginia K. Crocker, 29 years of service. Rosetta Lumpkin, 31 years of service. Garney Mitchell, 26 years of service. Mary Catherine Murray, 26 years of service. Janice Smith, 26 years of service. Timothy C. Williams, MD, 35 years of service.
You know, I was asked here today to, in my own words, say what the Paver program meant to me that Phoebe supplies. Over the last year, unfortunately, I've seen so many families that have buried their loved ones. But what I've seen this year that was different was so many of them didn't have closure. So many of them were not able to be by their bedside and say their goodbyes. And to me, the Paver program is a way you'll always have your memories. But the Paver program is something that Phoebe offers. It's a special, beautiful place. They've got over 3,100 pavers here right now. They'll have more added this year. And it is just a way for you to honor people that have been behind the scenes, memories of the people that you have lost. And it was just, for me to been able to have even done this, it's my way of telling the families that have lost someone, I'm sorry that your loved one's lost. I hope that you come out here, take advantage, and see it's just a special place for you to always, you have memories of your loved ones, and these pavers will be here for life. And that's what the Paver program means to me at Phoebe Putney. These are the names of the honorees for the pavers this year. Francis D. Button, Steve Kitchen, MD, Phoebe COVID-19 vaccine volunteers, all Phoebe doctors, all Phoebe environmental services employees, all Phoebe nurses, Martha Metters Snow, Scott Steiner, Ike, and Maxine Walker.
Hello, I'm LaQuanda Hoskins. This is my mother, Gwendolyn Hoskins. My father's name was Joseph Hoskins. I have been a registered nurse here at Phoebe for 16 years. I'm trying to find the words to truly express how I feel about this moment. What comes to mind is that my father was a legacy, and the person that I am today was molded by my parents. My father was very instrumental in my life, and he encouraged me to be a nurse. And what further brings joy to my heart is that I was told by the paramedic that his last conversation was how proud he was of me and the work that I did at Phoebe with helping the community. So today is a great honor and a privilege to be a part of this dedication in my father's name. And here are the names of those who we are remembering today.
Suzanne Mearns Allen, Z. Allen, June West Austin, Holly Bailey, William Randy Barnes, Arturo Bejo, Scott Benson, Keith Bernard Bronner, Dorothy Dot Brown, Andy Cooper, all COVID-19 victims. Faye Elizabeth Cruz, Susie Q. Glenn Edmonds Sr. Jean Eliezer, Robin Lois Fletcher Elmore, Roy Lee Fletcher Jr., Roy Lee Fletcher Sr., Tommy J. Fletcher, Betty Foster, Lydia Frazier,
Steve Goss, Eunice Green, Lemuel V. Lim Griffin Sr., Dr. Carl Hancock Jr., Lori Holcomb, Francis Hollingsworth, Joseph Henry Hoskins Jr., Richard Huggins, Bobby Jackson, Betty Sue Jones, Jimmy Jones, Bill Cluett, Teddy Lee, Bob Logan, Inga Michelle McDonald, Emma Maynard, Conway Martin, Newton Duckworth Martin, Dale Pokey McCluster, Betty McDonald, Larry McKenna.
David Meadows, Peggy Medders, Jean Bruce Melton, Juan B. Mieses, Leah Y. Monk, Lola Moreland, Bogey Olenek, Steve Smokey Olenek Jr., Kevin Owens, Sam Owens, Paula Patterson, Charles Pollock, Roger W. Pollock, Old Raj, Tommy Postel, Sr., Shirley Powell, Lucy Power, Danielle Demetrius Pratt, Jimmy Quattlebaum, Jan Rod, Taylor Rumpf,
Charlene Pollock Sawyer, James E. Jimmy Senyard, Carol Wilson Slappy, Pete Smith, Ronnie Snow, Nancy Stevenson, Libby Studdard, Tank, Myrtle Tarpley, Ashton Taylor, Wilson Tremaine Tolbert, Ben Weaver, Lieutenant Colonel Ned Wernick, Louise Wheezy Williams, Russell Terry Wood Jr., Grover Buddy Woolard, Cecil Wren.
What a year it has been. Unfortunately, because of the year we've just gone through, we're having a virtual Paver ceremony, a cheers ceremony we do each and every year where we all get together and honestly we get together to honor the memories of those that have gone before us. We celebrate the achievements of people that have worked here at the hospital that are retiring. And honestly, we cheer the future of those or the next generation come behind us. Always a really, really special ceremony, and it's always a time we come together face to face and we hug and we enjoy the celebration on this beautiful path that we have here. But as this year, based on the year, we're doing it virtually. And my commitment to you is next year, we'll get this behind us and we'll once again come together for the future. Now, having said that, why do we do the Paver ceremony? What's your contribution mean? It supports our chaplaincy program, and it has for many years. I'm for that very, very grateful. Will Runyon is our chaplain. Will is the chaplain, director of chaplaincy here at the hospital. He's also the head of our palliative care program. And Will is a name and a face that you've seen in the past year. And Will has done just a remarkable job in the past year serving our patients, our families. We're in healthcare. We're charged with the care, the physical care of our families and our community. We're also, I feel like, we're partially responsible for the emotional care of our patients and our families. And Will has served in a big role helping us do that this year. Many, many, many times, Will would don his personal protection equipment, would take an iPad and would go into a room and sit there and talk via an iPad with the family and the patient, letting them see each other. Because we know we couldn't come in the hospital early on in this event. But Will did that for us. And there were times also, Will, at end of life, Will would go into an ICU room and talk with the family via that and let them see their loved one as they were taking their next steps. So it's very emotional, very, very difficult time for our entire community. But Will and the Chaplaincy program helped bridge that gap, and for that I am so very, very grateful. He always did that with love and compassion and understanding, and that's what we do in this program. Physical health care and emotional health care, we feel that's what we're charged to do. So to that end, thank you. My job is to thank you for what you do. Thank you for your contribution to the Paver project. Because of what you're doing, it's allowed us to hire a second chaplain this year to come in and help with Will. Again, we feel like we have a job to support much more than the physical part of someone's health care. So we have been able to do that. I'm standing on our beautiful path right now, and I invite you to come and find your paver. It's a time that because I have my loved ones are here also, and I just enjoy watching and finding my paver, but I also enjoy looking at other names and the celebrations that are taking place here. But in case you're having difficulty, please call the Phoebe Foundation office, and they will give you directions as to how to find your paver here. Or if you prefer, go on our website, supportphoebe.org/pavers, and there will be a map there and we'll show you how to find your paver here on the location. So again, thank you for what you do, and we are grateful for your support of us and this community as we continue to achieve our vision to make every single life we touch better. God bless you all. Thank you for what you're doing.